What's the difference between a hero and a villain? Like, heroes like try to save people, and villains want to have something. Like they want to take over the world. They want to take over something. Now, this is a quote that I heard last summer. Heroes and villains always have the same backstory, pain. The difference is what they choose to do with it. Villain says, the world hurts me, I'll hurt it back. The hero says, the world hurts me, I'm not going to let it hurt anybody else. Heroes use pain, villains are used by it. That's the whole thing about having a backstory. Like, usually in backstories, heroes and villains would always have a backstory, and that's pain. And that's the whole thing about it. Heroes and villains will always have a backstory. And usually the whole reason why they have a backstory because what they've been through in their childhood or something that's happened to them. Like, there could be somebody that like maybe that like wanted to be exactly like them. Like maybe they were popular in school and they were left out and they didn't have no friends. And then they had nobody after graduation, and then they got lonely and depressed, and then they chose to be the villain. Like, villains always have the right to be evil or just downright broken. Villains like usually would have the right to be evil, and that's the whole thing about villains. There's even some villains that are evil for like no reason at all. And usually that's how it is. Like, if you've watched The Amazing Spider-Man 2, there was, like, this guy that turned into this, like, electro, guy and villain because by his co-workers, he was, like, mistreated. And when he became like that, everybody was mean to him, calling him a freak. And when Spider-Man was trying to help him, he thought that Spider-Man betrayed him, but he actually didn't. Spider-Man was just trying to help him, and as the hero, he was trying to help out the villain. But then the villain chose to just become evil and fight off Spider-Man, and Spider-Man won at the end of the movie. Like, if you guys know Batman's backstory, he lost his parents. His parents got shot, and then he could have became a villain at that point, but then he chose to become a hero. Like Robin's parents, like, I think they left. I think that's basically what happened to Robin's parents too. Like, if you ever watch Teen Titans Go, like Robin is such a good leader and kind of annoying still, but his teammates always treat him badly. And if you even watched the movie, he became evil because Slade took over his mind. And Robin actually couldn't have had the right to be evil because, like the Titans, they've made fun of him all of his life about his baby hands, about his height, and the things he did, and all that other stuff. They always made fun of him for no doubt reason at all. That's the whole thing about heroes and villains. They always have like a backstory. Like that's the thing. You can choose to be a hero or a villain. It's up to you. Being a hero and a villain is optional. Like, the thing is, like, there could be heroes and villains in this world, and that's even the whole thing too. Like, there could be like some people that maybe had a bad childhood, or they have like, or maybe they faced something that they were maybe when they were like in school, and that's the whole thing about a hero and a villain. They always have a backstory. Like, some of us can even like be heroes, or some of us can be villains for some reason. Like, if we were made fun of in school, left out, had no friends, always teased, made fun of 24/7, and then when we graduated school, like some people were glad that we were gone, and then after that, when they found out that they didn't miss us, they would become a villain. They would become a villain because what they're dealing with, and if you're a hero or a villain, you just choose what you want to be. Like, you can choose to be a hero or a villain. It's optional. You always have a reason to become a villain. Like, you would always have a reason to become those things. And the whole thing about that is, like, every time you watch a superhero movie, there's always a backstory. There's always a backstory of a hero and a villain. like I remember watching Kung Fu Panda. I remember as a kid, I hated Tai Lung. I was like, man, I hate him. Why is he so evil? But then as I got older, I was all like, you know what? He had the right to be evil. He wanted to become the Dragon Warrior, but then Master Oogway said no, because he just didn't say no. So did Tigress. Tigress couldn't have became a villain, but she chose to still be a hero because she was abandoned in her childhood and she wasn't treated as good as Tai Lung, because Master Shifu was happy for Tai Lung, but for Tigress it was the opposite. And the children were even scared of Tigress, all because of her claws, and that's even sad. Like with Po, he was left in some kind of like a basket of beets, and then his parents had to leave. Like and then after that, he got to see his dad in Kung Fu Panda 3. Like, I even remember watching those movies. I was like, wow, dude, at least he got to see his dad again. And that's even the whole thing too, because like even heroes have backstories and they share pain, and that's even the whole thing about that. Becoming a hero and a villain is like absolutely optional, and whenever you become a hero or a villain, then that's what you become in your life. And like, it's always like a thing when you hear somebody's backstory. Definitely to that, and the whole backstory to it, completely of the whole backstory of that you hear of them, of like the whole reason why they basically became evil. So basically the whole point of this is that heroes and villains would always have the same backstory, and that's pain. And the thing is about pain is that as soon as when they deal with that backstory in their life, then they can't, and then you can't just go back and say that, you know what, I wish I could just like not deal with the pain, because they could choose to be a hero or a villain, and then after that they just chose to be like that. If you want to listen to more podcasts, please leave a like and subscribe.